Good morning, everybody. It's Chris Robinson Ag Marketing with today's pre-opening grain comments for Friday. Fridays really matter because we get to look at these numbers all week. Overnight, July corn, a 3-cent ranged, basically unchanged, 4.66 and 3/4. D's corn only down a penny. Did trade back to 4.90. We settled, we're trading right here at 4.88.5, down a penny. Novi beans, right back at it, rallying back, up 6 cents. July beans, up 6 cents. July wheat, bouncing off of its recent 50 to 60% correction there, both in KC and July. Pretty good pullback. Actually, July gave back about 25% of its rally. Ditto for Minneapolis. So, is that over? We'll see. Nothing's really changed there. A lot of it's money flow, and we are continuing to chase crude oil, which is sitting at $95. It traded as low as 93 overnight, back to 95. More trading the headlines, right? You don't need me to repeat what everybody knows. Is that every half hour or every hour or twice a day, somebody says something or does something, and the crude market reacts, and then it runs through the rest of the grain. So it makes it very, very difficult to make decisions. So because it just moves so quickly, right? The volatility's right back out there. We've been having 20-cent ranges in beans pretty much regularly, 10-cent ranges in corn, 10 to 15-cent ranges in the wheat. So it's a good time to be using options, and it's also a good time to have predetermined areas where you want to sell bushels. Have those orders working at the elevator so you don't miss them, because they may only be there for 30 seconds the way this market's trading. In the protein complex, we're going to see, we had a little bit of a rollover yesterday. Feeders finished down almost $7. Fats finished down 3.5. All the protein complex was under some pressure yesterday. We did come back better than off our lows, but I think for the time being, the field is set, right? June fats, if we can't get back above 255, that's going to be a problem for the bulls. If you look at May feeders, 3 times over the past, you can go all the way back to October. So the 3 times in the last 7 months, we've kind of stopped here at this 377 level. 370, there's a big congestion mark there. So I would watch 370 today in May as a pivot. The stock market, right? It's still at all-time highs. Every time I turn around, and sadly, part of my job is I have to watch the news all day, and that means watching social media. And, every time we turn around, there's another person saying that the top is in. We're about to have, a 55% correction. That's what we had in the great financial crisis. Just everybody wants to know. And that took like 18 months to play out. When we had the COVID break, that was 35%, but we did that in a week, and then 2 weeks later, we were making new highs because they started printing money. So I always take a grain of salt when people consistently say, this is it, this is the top. You've got the S&P 500 at 74.12 right now. Literally a month and a half ago, we were at 63.53. So a month and a half ago, the S&P had broke 10%. Now, since that break, we have rallied back 16%. Right? So be careful calling the tops in the stock market. One of these days, we are going to have a correction, and nobody's going to really be able to predict it when it happens. Just like everything else in life, if you would be hurt by a strong correction, if it's money that you would need to live on, then you want to think twice maybe about having it out there. But if you're not going to touch that money for 5 years, I wouldn't even watch it, to tell you the truth. I mean, over every 5 years, 5-year period, and that's the last time we had a horrendous correction in the stock market, was 2008, and we got back to even in 2013. So it took 5 years to get back to even, but we did. And the people that all got hammered were the ones that threw the towel in at the lows, and then have been selling the stock market for the past 15 years because they've listened to people like David Stockman, who every time we make a new high says, it's unsustainable. So I would apply that same logic to the way the grains trade. We've had a surprisingly good rally in the grains. We certainly didn't think we'd be here in December. So to be sitting with these corn at 488.5, with Novi beans at 1180, when we started the year at 1055, and we started the year in corn at 445, and wheat was down at 525. Even right now, wheat is at 615. So we're roughly $1 off our lows even in the wheat. So protect what you can, keep the upside open. I don't know if we're gonna have a drought this year. If we do, you're not gonna need my help to make money because the market will go straight up, right? Just make sure you leave your upside open, and make sure that if you're an end user, you've got your protection on in case we do get that. I mean, we'll find out in the next 2 months, and so set your hedges. All right, this is Chris. This is Friday. If you need some help, give me a call, 312-638-8868. If you're not getting my letter, sign up for it. I have the levels every day. Every day I do the homework so you don't have to. Saves you a couple hours a day. I know because that's how long I put into it. All right, guys, have a great day. Have a great Friday. And if I don't talk to you, have a great weekend.